Okay, so we have started up chapter 10 and it's labeled the Civil War, and we have gone back to learn about the North and the South all the way beginning in 1819 with the Missouri Compromise. And from then on, we went through several situations, all dealing with slavery and how to balance the government and balance the information or the sides so that slavery will stay legal in some areas and maybe and not legal in others. Okay, but there's always been the side called abolitionists who want to abolish or do away with slavery, and then there's always been those that are very much for slavery. And you learned about that and how the North and the South are. Why they have their differences. We've talked about the Compromise of 1850, and then the slide for Bleeding Kansas was quite interesting. Make sure we watch that video. And the Kansas-Nebraska Act and how that divided our nation even more and what that was about. It was not a good time during our American history. So very dangerous, very opinionated, and things just not well settled. So, and set up. We talked about Dred Scott and how he lived as a slave to an army man. And since he moved to different states with that army man, he thought, well, he lived in free states at times, so he should be a free man. Well, the U.S. Supreme Court did not rule that as true. So he was a slave and property of that man, and so therefore he was not considered to have any rights of the United States. We talked a little bit about Harriet Tubman, who was definitely a very important part of our history, and how the slaves were freed and why it was so important to have those areas, North and South, and the areas that did want slavery and did not, and how she got the people away from slavery. And then now we're talking about Abraham Lincoln and how Abraham Lincoln has become one of the very key turning points in presidents and how our government is set up. He starts the Republican Party. He leads that party. So can you think of what the two parties were before there was the Republican Party? That the Lincoln-Douglas debate is very important. So you'll listen and hear about that. And then I just want you to think about why and what were things that in years that Abraham Lincoln, what leads him up to his presidency in 1860? He's definitely a very key person in how our government is formed and how our nation then develops after those years. So think about it and mark them down. How many can you get? Okay. Well, I don't know. Sure, there's some treat around here that I can give you for each year that you come up with something. So go to work.